Hello, hello, it's Memento, and I'm here to play Pink Noise. Thank you so much to the developer for reaching out to me via email and being like, hey, do you want to play my game? And I was like, yes. So far, first impression, fantastic music. I love the music. A little bit about this game. It is a horror visual novel, and it's full of 90s nostalgia, and I am a 90s baby, and it has collectible pogs, which I think is really fucking cool. And there is currently a Kickstarter going on, so if you end up liking this game, and if I end up liking this game, I don't know if I will, because I am past Memento, but consider backing the Kickstarter if you enjoyed this video, or check the demo out for yourself. And yeah, strong start. The music is really good, so I have a lot of faith. Also, I'm kind of cosplaying one of the characters. One of the characters is really sporty, and I don't have a Letterman jacket, so I think this is my excuse to get a Letterman jacket. But I do have this one, which is like, I don't know, kind of vaguely sporty, but also like very girly, because I'm a girly girl. Anyway, let's get on with the game. This is Pink Noise. I'm so excited. It's so creepy. Oh my gosh, beautiful hand-drawn backgrounds too. It like spoke to me. It spoke to me. Act 1, along shady alleys. Tell me, oh my god, this is beautiful. I love the art. Fall comes to Riverwood with chilling winds and the first drizzle. A bleak mist obscures the narrow streets, clinging to the rooftops, tangling in the bushes, and swirling around fields. Fog and murky blackness suit the peculiar suburb. Nestled amid the forest and mountains, it's a decaying, quiet place, waiting for winter. As evening wears on, the town is wrapped in thickening twilight, with only a few streetlights serving as solitary islands of illumination in an ocean of darkness. On one such evening, ordinary and cold, 4 teenagers are strolling around an old park, engrossed in a lively discussion. The first fallen leaves rustle underfoot. As the wind reaches the trees, their branches groan out a long, plaintive creak, as if already lamenting the loss of their motley attire. 2 of the teenagers, a tall boy and a fair-haired girl, that's me, walk hand in hand. Their friend carefully hops from one paved slab to the next, balancing as though a bottomless chasm might yawn open beneath them. A quiet, stooping boy in glasses trails behind them, casting glances at the road. Ahead, the street splits in 2, then veers sharply out toward a wasteland. Super side note, not super side note. The writing is beautiful. I really like the writing. Year by year, students have taken that path, carrying with them their thoughts and fears, high hopes and grand dreams, from tough exams and first crushes to bullies' bonks on the head, or simply yearning to be the star player of a local team. Be it aglow in autumn gold, cloaked in verdant summer green, or blanketed beneath snowdrift, Riverwood will never forget them, just as they'll never forget their town and its secrets. The older a place grows, the more mysteries it keeps locked away. One of the girls leaps into the distorted blur of light cast by an old street lamp. Ain't gonna catch me. Eva wipes shadowy webs off her cardigan, gossamer threads only she can perceive. She glances at the overgrown bushes, which have long since forgotten the tender care of gardening shears. Look how cute they all are. That is not English. Hello? Language English? Okay. Excellent. No chow time tonight, beasties. The other girl scoffs at her friend's silly gestures. If Brian was as agile as you, we wouldn't have been stuck in school after dark. The chemistry room's never been so tidy. She wriggles her fingers to demonstrate, her palms red and wrinkled from the hot water. It's not my fault Mrs. Hopestone didn't save enough teeth to avoid spitting and lisping. Besides, she should have explained it better. The bottle must have been left open. Actually, she explained just fine, but you still put 3 chlorine tablets in the rubbing alcohol instead of 1. Surprise, surprise, the reaction was extreme. Yeah, that bang was something else. My left ear's still ringing. Eva stops, hovering a faint halo of light, and nods. She's never been reprimanded at school before today. Sure, she would have been way more upset if it hadn't been Bryant's fault, but still. It's just another adventure, something her and her friends will laugh about one day, and a happy memory is worth more than any reprimand, especially when her parents will probably forget it by tomorrow. He raises his hands apologetically. Next time we team up, I won't let you down. I'll put in 2 chlorine tablets. The group passes a row of houses, as dissimilar to one another as is ever possible in a suburb. The time-worn houses' windows glow faintly in sepia tones, as though the light itself has aged and can no longer disperse the deepening darkness. The buildings they pass seem to be contending for the greatest neglect. Every other resident would be considered an eccentric in any other town. For instance, Grey Bone has leaned on the rusty mower on his front stoop instead of a cane for 2 decades. The abandoned duplex across the road still bears the scars of a long-forgotten fire. Its windows are boarded up. Even during the day, it has a miserable look. The teens keep their distance. I don't know what those little lawn decorations are, but they are equal parts cute and creepy. Like, I would feel so unnerved seeing them, but they're also oddly comforting. Oh, Mrs. Harvitz's house. The gloomy old lady had knitted yet another pear-shaped cat and proudly displayed it on the terrace, thus expanding her ugly army. Yeah, they are endearingly ugly. Right, you had a cup of tea together. Did baby Tony apologize? Once, Eva's brother had filched one of the cats and taken it home. Neither of their parents had called any attention to it, so she'd had to explain herself that taking other people's belongings without permission was wrong. No, I was the one to apologize. Mrs. Harvitz didn't say a word. She only gave us a cold stare and sniffed loudly. She scared poor Tony so much that he couldn't fall asleep for half a night. You have such a giving heart when it comes to your brother. You might be raising a hell of a night. Why in the world would he want to snatch a cat, though? He was just a little kid. He came, he saw, he took it home. There's no need to tell her friend that Tony had intended to give Eva the cat. He knew she wanted a pet more than anything in the world. He thought he could cheer her up with at least a toy one. Aw, that's cute. He'd never taken anything that didn't belong to him before, not out of fear of getting caught or punished. He simply found stealing shameful. Tony would sooner give away his breakfast than steal something from someone weaker than him. No doubt that kind of attitude will make school harder for him, but such is his nature. What a sweet boy. I'm actually amazed she didn't just give him one. Contemplating her brother's heart of gold, Eva smiles softly. Oh, that is for sure haunted. Yes? Yes? Okay. They pass by Mrs. Harvitz's terrace, curiously eyeing her odd dolls. Twilight makes the cat's silhouettes look eerie. Their pearl-button eyes glimmer in the fading light, as if they know secrets that have been buried too long. If I go crazy one day, I'm definitely buying a nice crib close to the park. The neighbors here match me perfectly. Yeah, I can't stand this street. It's like it's lost in time and space. How about we head through the square? No one protests, so she leads them onward, sweeping into the nearest alley. A gust of wind bursts through the narrow walkway, permeating the air with the stench of raw wooden planks and rotting garbage. It's a kitty cat! It's a good girl! Oh, it's a good baby! Oh, it's a good baby! I have a good baby! I have a very good baby! Brian adjusts the backpack full of baseball equipment, which is crawled down his shoulder, and walks up to Ashley. I'm so fed up with this stupid school. All these teachers, homework, tests. But the year just started. That only makes me want to study even less. There's nothing worse than coming back to school after summer. As a teacher, I can confirm that that's true on both sides. We are all suffering together, children. He jumps over a puddle and takes Ashley's hand. Aw. It's like wearing old trainers you've already grown out of. I can't wait for college. When I start working, I'll buy real catcher's gear, or at least a better glove. Yeah, no, don't look forward to working. Actually, enjoy being a kid. It is the better reality. His palms still hurt from Friday's practice session. The equipment donated to their team left much to be desired. Better buy a slugger straight away. It'll pay off much sooner. Best case scenario, you can be a bouncer at a bar. Ashley really is kind of a dick. I like her. Ashley laughs at his childishness. Brian doesn't get the complexity of the world at all. Dad says a good job like his is hard to find without higher education. Ashley grabs her Leo Zodiac pendant. It's a nervous habit, something she does whenever she says something important. It calms her. College is just another place to study. This world's too cruel. Illnesses, starvation, school. I like school, though. Yes, I am pulling out my glasses for him. Michael tries to squeeze into the conversation. All along, he's been trailing behind the others, glancing suspiciously at the parked pickups, as if they might bite. He hasn't kept up with his friends since he noticed 2 silhouettes in an old Ford. Ugh. Ah! 1 female, 1 male. I don't see any silhouettes in the Ford, and that's somehow worse. Hey! Never mind. Jesus. The mutilated faces stared back at him. He could have sworn he'd heard a hoarse, gurgling whisper. Then a light had flashed over one of the doorsteps, dispersing the blackness. No? Okay. Suddenly, both seats were empty again, and the strange vision turned into nothing but a local flour mill uniform hanging from a grab handle. That shouldn't have spooked me that badly. Michael wipes the sweat off his forehead and listens carefully to his friends. Of course. I'd love school too if I had your scores, Mikey. Exactly. Agreeing, Brian quickly squeezes Ashley's hand. Maybe I should wear glasses too. Sounds like homework doesn't look so boring through them. They walk by the Murdoch's front garden and onto a street flooded with pink and blue neon store signs. You'd better stop complaining. We only have 3 years of school left. Just imagine, life's gonna be completely different afterward. We might even lose touch. To Eva, the idea of moving away feels like teleporting to an unfamiliar planet. So many new people, places, and interesting stories. She hasn't even fully explored Riverwood yet. In her mind, the town's old houses and old residents still harbor so many secrets, enigmatic and dark. In comparison, some unknown huge city feels like a bottomless well, impossible to fully drain, even if you had 100 years. In a future like that, it would be hard to make time for anything from the past, but she doesn't plan to forget her loved ones forever. If friendship's real, distance means nothing. My dad calls his friends from other states every single day. She's tempted to add that they mainly have business conversations and argue often, but they don't need to know that. In her mind, her parents are role models everyone should strive to imitate, not just her and her brother. There isn't a single family in the entire town happier or more close-knit than Ashley's, and that's nothing but the truth. Oh, girl, your family ain't all that. Your family's so not that. Well, a couple cornfields and state borders ain't enough to break you up. What the hell do Ashley's dad, your love, and cornfields have in common? Look around. Eva stomps and points towards the houses swaying in the darkness. Is anything really happening up here? Crunk Jim driving a tractor into a ravine was practically the only breaking news here in 6 months. Well, adulthood is a real challenge. People grow up, then they start to feel sorry that time flew by so fast, and they want to experience school life again. Eva is so real for that. She is so real for that. I want to experience school life again, but, like, Like young school life, not like higher education. She pauses, searching for the right words. Quoting someone else is one thing, but will she soon regret those bygone days herself? After all, Eva already recalls her early childhood with nostalgic warmth. Back then, every little thing felt like it was brimming with wonder. Now a doll is no longer a sorceress princess or a traveler from a faraway world. A toy soldier is just a piece of plastic and a blanket, no longer making stories up for others. Making stories up for others is simple, but how are you supposed to fix yourself? Maybe the older you get, the more colorless the world becomes. You know, that's actually like, there's like a whole theory behind that, that when we're younger, we see the world more vibrantly, we see the colors more vibrantly, and it kind of makes you wonder, like when you look at all of these games that are like the cozy farming games, seeing as I've been playing a lot of those recently, if you look at those and you look at how they're almost oversaturated, I think some of that is to kind of try and bring back how we felt in our youth and the vibrancy that we saw so long ago in our youth. And it has been noted that people seem to see things with less vibrancy the older they get. And I just think that's really interesting, that the world is kind of legitimately getting duller. But I also think some of that is like mind over matter. I don't find the world to look that dull. I think because I still have some of that spark. Maybe? It's like going back to a fairy tale you weren't grateful enough for earlier. They're just nice words, nothing more. Bring adults back to the textbooks and they'll howl all day. I don't remember any fairy tales where the characters are forced to read Walt Whitman's poetry. What about you, Michael? Ooh. Me neither. Mama's hands? What does that mean? What does that mean? What do Mama's hands mean? The friends stroll from one store to the next, looking at the flickering signs. Up close, they no longer seem bright and cheerful. They look rather ramshackle and out of place in the dilapidated suburb. Actually, I think it looks very nice and bright, and I'm not going to say cheery, but it looks bright. I think it's the neon. Also, this really... It is giving 90s nostalgia. It really is. The music started making me think of Stranger Things, which is one of the things that the developer cited was like one of the inspirations. Let's go home, okay? Dad's on shift today, but if he comes back to grab a bite to eat and I ain't there... Brian scratches his neck and sticks out his tongue. Ashley laughs and punches him in the shoulder. Michael, trailing behind everyone, suddenly stops and looks at the only sign that still sparkles as brightly and cheerfully as the day it was hung. The arcade's open. I doubt there's anyone there this late. We can play Street Fighter. Oh, hell yeah. Let's go. Usually calm and quiet, he now blossoms. Behind his thick glasses, his eyes shine with passion. Totally. No stupid helpers, suckers, or high school jerks. Aren't you all high schoolers? Oh, look how happy they look. Just two bros. Two bros being dudes. The boys lean against the dusty window, as happy as if they're meeting their idols. The girls only snort in irritation. What? Suddenly you're not going to run back to your crib to avoid Daddy's shellacking? Shellacking. Words I've never said before. I learn in visual novels. I'll risk it. There's always a chance Dad will kick you in the head. But a chance to throw Hadokens and not wait in freaking line for the game, now that's rare. It takes so little to make them happy, doesn't it? Ashley glances at her friend. Let him play. By the way, did you hear about the arcade machine that appears in the hall by itself? Ashley rolls her eyes. Eva's fantasies and reality have little in common. Her friend refuses to grow up. In her world, even a tattered old shoe might open its jaws and spin some ridiculous yarn. And that's exactly why Ashley adores Eva. She's so incredibly different from Ashley's overly rational parents. And from Ashley, too. With her, getting bored is an impossible mission. Even if they were both locked in an empty basement, Eva would still manage to discover something fascinating there. She'd pull Ashley in and get her into trouble again. They'd giggle about it later. But Eva doesn't need to know that. It isn't like anyone can stop her anyway. You start playing and can't stop. The game never ends. It's impossible, but you try over and over again, forgetting about eating or even going to the bathroom. Over and over and over, not thinking about your parents and friends, over and over again until you run out of your allowance, can't afford breakfast, and stay hangry for the rest of the week because you're dumb. Act 2! It's high time for games! Just like I'm doing right now! The spacious room is somehow stuffy, permeated with the stench of hot plastic unsuccessfully covered up by pungent berry air fresheners. Gross. Smells like a wasted time. As if the shack smells nothing like school. The clamor of screensavers and demo walkthroughs melds into a terrible cacophony. No wonder the zoned-out cashier is shielding himself from it with a set of greasy, cushioned headphones. Ah, same. Except I'm hearing bang-ass music. I like AKDK and back something to Alien. Shark did. I love it. The walls are plastered with posters, promotional flyers, and all sorts of paper trash. However, one ad stands out. If you beat a record, you can win tickets and exchange them for prizes. Such generosity was easily explained. With the start of the school year, kids have a bit more cash in their pockets than usual. Look! You can get an 8-ball and a Rubik's Cube and a really probably shitty Slinky and a Game Boy! You get a Game Boy! There's no one inside except the cashier, yet the floor is peppered with trash, from crumpled soda cans to chocolate bar wrappers. The arcade closes in 30 minutes. Local kids can only hang out here at this hour in the summer. The hall is packed with all sorts of arcade machines, each game's name glowing invitingly. Clips of characters deliberately failing to the beat of different levels flash on the screens over and over. Donkey... I'm trying to figure out Donkey Kong? Cone? It's definitely not a G, but I can't... Donkey Kong. Street Fight R. Metroid D, maybe? I'm not sure what this one is. A go. It's over here. Temporarily out of order. No! The boys run towards the machine. It hasn't yet been wrecked by the way some of its time-worn neighbors have. Even so, the buttons and plastic casing bear scuffs, cracks, and grubby marks left by countless kids' hands. Worst of all, instead of some thrilling music, the machine is emitting only a I think that's meant to be like horse. Only a hoarse wheeze, like an old man struggling to clear his throat and instead pushing a death rattle out of his rusty lungs. Like that. A piece of cardboard with a blood-curdling inscription is stuck to the screen. Temporarily out of order. No, the cashier cannot fix it. God, where is your justice? Who's the god of computer nerds? The monkey holding the barrel. Brian grumbles something in response, and Michael just shrugs. A technician's coming, but not till at least next Tuesday, so y'all need to choose some other game. Try Road Blasters. It's the freshest here. It's the freshest here. The cashier points at the brand new arcade game, displaying a car blowing up and drowning in a fiery pixelated cloud. I like the weird skin mask. Dang it! Michael's voice trembles. He seldom lets himself betray such emotion, but Brian has his back. What else have you got, other than cars? All that and a bag of chips if you're ranked up in the top 5 of Pumpkin Man. I'll give you double the prize. He nods toward the counter. No one really plays this trash. We've got a real shot at setting a record. Oh, it's another good little pretty kitty. Oh, it's a baby. Oh. A gray cat lounging on a chair next to another machine captures the girl's attention. 4 letters shine on her pink collar. Lucy! Lucy in the sky with diamonds. So sweet! Always pet the cat. Always pet the cat. Meow. The cat flattens her ears and grumbles. No! I bet you $5 she doesn't remember how clean hands with no cheese ball dust on them feel. She kind of looks like the cat Mom was trying to paint last month. Let me guess. The cat in the painting had mandibles and a pair of tentacles. Ugh, I wish. She was just in the background. Mom paints people. You know how it is. Ashley knows. She wishes she didn't, though. Those paintings are why she prefers inviting Eva over rather than visiting her. Well, one of the reasons, anyway. They'd had a slumber party at Eva's place twice. Both nights, Ashley had been plagued by nightmares. The root cause was a few masterpieces Eva's mom considered her favorites. Compared to those monstrosities, plain old horror movies were practically bright, cheery cartoons. Aw, yeah! Pumpkin Man! I want to play Pumpkin Man. Meanwhile, the boys approached the coin-operated Pumpkin Man machine. Instead of a usual Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man, a bright orange pumpkin is flying around tough levels, eating licorice candies. Yuck. The display sears their eyes with poisonous shades as a bunch of colorful blots chase the voracious pumpkin. What you think? Are these ghosts? Michael peers at the sign. Here's a hunter shooting the pumpkin with a shotgun. They're restless hunters' souls, then. Awesome. Let them catch the pumpkin. Then everyone's happy. The hunters are safe in their graves, and we're home. Brian decisively draws a handful of coins from his pocket and inserts them. Very fluid. The coins clatter through the machine's metal innards and settle in its stomach. The maze dissolves into pixels and rearranges itself into the first level. Its corridors are speckled with candies, and the ghosts begin darting ravenously around their cage. Oh, do I get to play? Oh, yeah, let's go. Let's go. I've forgotten how to play, Pumpkin Man. I'm not gonna lie. Hello. It's fine. Oh no! Oh no! Ow! I haven't played in so long! No. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Yes, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go! Okay. There's a little bit of a delay on the controls. I don't just suck. I swear. Oh, look how happy they are! That's it. Give me tickets, you stupid slab of iron. The cabinet releases 50 tickets that could be exchanged for an interesting item. Although they'd like to keep playing a bit longer, they've run out of spare change. And Brian would never, ever borrow money from a girl. Michael feels a bit awkward since he's never had any pocket money at all. But a friendly slap on the back snaps him out of his thoughts. Oh, I want better for you, Michael. Good job, Michael. You played like a beast. You two did a lot better on this than in chemistry class today. Not sure I could have completed the level where there were more ghosts than candies. This is very important. Brian looks around with a self-satisfied smile, but to his disappointment, the girls aren't there to celebrate his triumph. They're just emerging from the bathroom, discussing something. You missed something amazing! Did you land a space shuttle? No. Then I don't see any reason for such delirious joy. Ashley, don't be mean to him. Brian points at the tickets Michael's holding. Nah, what we did is way cooler than any shuttle. Let's go. High time we picked a prize. The cashier isn't around. The only movement in the whole arcade is a decorative bamboo curtain slowly swaying behind the counter. Well, clearly he's just gone back there. The cashier's headphones are still laying on the lower part of the counter. A lonesome sausage is rolling around in a jar. That's horrid. That's horrible. That's a horrible sentiment. Is that a thing from the 90s? I didn't go to a lot of arcades. I'm gonna be so real. All of a sudden, the hall seems empty. Where did he go? Dunno. Brian carefully approaches the counter and raps on the table with his knuckles. They hear shambling behind the bamboo curtain. Someone exhales loudly, and they all freeze. The game machines start beeping incessantly. The signboard lights dim as a devouring darkness creeps into the hall. Eva impatiently examines the counter. Oh, is it getting darker? Oh, it's getting darker. And the posters tacked up on top of one another. Then she shouts, "Hello? Anybody there?" No reply. Alright, let's bounce. I don't want to wait for this freak. Oi! Oh, your leather face mask. That was so rude. That was so incredibly rude. I knew the scare was coming. Didn't matter. The cashier takes off his mask and bursts into laughter. Y'all should have seen your faces. We didn't even gasp. What a boring prank. The cashier grimaces, although he's taking a swig of lemon juice. Ugh, critics. Alright, pick a prize. I see y'all got plenty of tickets. Game Boy! Game Boy! Game Boy! Game Boy! Obviously. 10,000 tickets? Oh my god. How many tickets do I have? Doesn't say how many tickets I have. Oh, I can't get the haunted VHS tape. Oh, an 8-ball. Magic 8-ball. 50! Let's go! Ashley would love this toy. She believes in fortune telling and horoscopes. See, there we go. Is this what we would get Eva? That's such a ripoff. Everyone else gets nice gifts, and then she would get a fucking slinky. Okay, I want... Unavailable. Unavailable? Unavailable? Okay, well, I guess in the demo all we can get is for Michael. And the award for the best gamer of the night goes to... Michael! What do you say? You want a Rubik's Cube? Looks fly. Never seen one like this before. Oh, he's so happy about it. Michael nods shyly. He's not used to getting anything right on the first try. Aw. I want better for you, Michael. He isn't thrilled about the prize, but Brian could have simply chosen the Magic 8-ball for his girlfriend or the Slinky for Eva. He's known them way longer, but no, he chose Michael. He's on cloud 9. People are finally noticing him. Ah, my sweet baby boy. Girls, you don't mind, do you? Oblivious to the world, Eva is just staring at the leather face mask stretched over a jar of cheap marinated sausages. Somehow the fact that it's over top of sausages is so much worse. The mask is made of leatherette, not latex or silicone. It looks so realistic. Of course, up close it is as menacing as in the movie, but the unknown artisan clearly put immense effort into it. Horrifying. Eva has watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 times. The family dinner is her favorite horror scene. She once asked the cashier where he got the mask so she can buy one for Halloween. No thank you. The cashier collects the tickets and tosses the cube to Michael, who beams. Let me give y'all some for the rest of the tickets. Ooh. That's not a cassette, that's a VHS. And taps it. No one knows what's recorded on here. I just found it in the hall once. Brian glances at his friends. Oh, look at Michael playing with his new toy. Michael twists the cube with rapt attention, paying the cashier no notice. You mean you're just gonna give us somebody else's cassette instead of a real prize? But Eva finished examining the mask, swiftly snatches up the prize and stows it in her bag. Booyah! Extra profit! Brian grimaces as the cashier tucks the tickets into his wallet. Most likely no extra prize ever even existed, and the cashier is just pawning some junk off on them to pocket their tickets. Chances are he's pulled that trick before. Who knows? Next time he might try handing out socks or some dusty old Tiger Electronics handheld. I think we got screwed. It's all strange, mysterious cassette. Isn't that enough? As if teasing them, the light from the arcade machines gleams directly on the coveted Game Boy. No, it's not. They head toward the exit. Act 3, a bad sign. Most of the signs are already off, submerging the thickets, basements, and narrow alleyways in darkness. It splashes out onto the square, engulfing it in blackness. Only a few pickups and locked bicycles are still around, all parked by Marshall Sue's bar. The wind sweeps over the fields. The element that usually toys with the harvested coin now moans forlornly, plunging the suburb into melancholy. Winter will change everything. Stores and bars will be strung with sparkling beads of colorful lights, and the snow will smooth the wrinkles and scars of old Riverwood. The town will take on a deceptively pretty and cozy facade. As a kid, Michael loved strolling around here during Christmas vacation, munching on hot pies and watching snowflakes fall through the thick windows of a coffee shop. Back then, he never noticed the aging buildings, chipped concrete, or the gloomy people trying to fake a smile. In autumn, however, the suburb's flaws stand out more sharply. It looks unwelcoming, gray, lifeless. No wonder Eva calls it the season of ghosts. Just thinking of it gives him the creeps. Well, we're late. Granny and Grandpa will be upset. If that's the worst that'll happen, then you may as well stay out a little later. That is not a great idea. Come on, Mike. How about that Rubik's Cube? Show us what you got. You should have seen him. A hella pumpkin master. Michael humbly takes out his toy and twists a few of the layers. But watching the colorful squares slowly line up is boring as hell. Everyone knows it, even Michael. Nice. What else are we going to waste our time on? How about pouring water from the school fountain into the river? Eva pulls out the cassette and waves it at her friends. It's probably a translation error. I think I'm gonna start just saying VHS. Cause like it's gotta be a translation error. It's not a cassette. That would be like music. This would be a VHS because it's, you know, it's a picture. Well, it's hopefully a picture. Unless this thing really does only play music, in which case I guess I'll eat my words that this is a funky looking cassette. Now here's something worth our time. What you think? Is it gonna be a movie or a cartoon? Nope, it's a VHS. Alright, confirmed. Disappointed in the Rubik's Cube, Brian glances at their extra prize. I really hope it's worthwhile. Maybe some maniac recorded himself abusing his victims and can't wait to make it public. Oh good, we're hoping for a snuff film. It reeks. Nobody knows why Eva sniffed the VHS. She hands it to Ashley, who also grimaces at the stench. Why are we sniffing it? I do like that the nose moves. Bri? Why are we all sniffing it? Brian sniffs it too. Oddly, instead of old plastic, it stinks of lake silt, acidic rust, stagnant water, wax leather coated in sweat. That's definitely from a murder house. The odors mix together in the most unimaginable way, yet each is still distinct. Oh, you know what I just kind of noticed? Their eyes almost have like that VHS staticky look to them. That's interesting. Oh, I really like that. Or it's dust on my screen. No, it's VHS staticky almost. It's fine. That's weird. That's what I'm talking about. We gotta see what's... Suddenly, Michael shrieks and swears. Ah! Fudge! The friends spin to face him. Michael shakes his finger and sticks it in his mouth. He grips the cube as if he's about to throw it away, but forces himself not to. Ashley glances at her bewildered friends. They look as lost as she is. Unless that cube's made of sugar, that's totally weird. Even weirder than that nasty cassette. What happened, Mike? The boy puts the cube in his pocket and forces a smile. His face is covered in sweat, and his eyes dance about anxiously. It's all good. Just pinched my finger. Must have turned a layer the wrong way. Bro, to make yourself bleed, though? It hurts, but Michael doesn't want to look weak in front of his friends, and he certainly doesn't want to scare them. The whole thing felt strange. Pointless. Aw, cute little treehouse. And a pool! Ashley's house is the first place on the way back. The friends stop by her family's decorative fence. Michael likes it here. The house feels alive. Bright, full of energy. Not that he and his grandparents live in a junkyard, but their place is old, engulfed in greenery and quiet. Old things always stay right in their places, and new ones are rare. If the TV still works, there's no need to replace it. If the couch isn't falling apart, why get rid of it? It could last through at least one more generation of kids. The only new thing his grandfather has bought lately is a car, but, well, that was for special reason. Michael's life is quiet, and a little mouse burrowed in books and magazines. In that sense, Ashley is his complete opposite. Just like their houses, an old single-story building versus a giant mansion that takes up half its plot. That is a rather nice house. Ash, you have an old VHS player in your shed, don't you? Yeah, why? You want to watch the VHS? Well, it could make our evening a little better. But don't our boys need to get home? Instead of answering, Brian jumps over the fence and waits for his friends to follow. Michael? Michael nods and quickly catches up with Brian. Brian looks excited, like he's about to embark on the best adventure of his life. Grinning from ear to ear, he turns to Michael. Did you solve the cube? No, I'll try again tomorrow. Let's check out that tape. He should have started doing his homework long ago instead of wandering through the streets. By now, his grandmother might be about to call the police and demand a search party for her grandson, but he hardly wants to go home. Yeah, I guess he can't just, call. Jesus! Broski really bleeding! Michael stares pensively at his finger. Blood is still oozing out of the wound. The nail and flesh have been cut with a sharp edge. The worst part is the feeling of the cube growing right inside his pocket. What? The cube that pinched his finger hard. That's not normal. Oh, we're really bleeding. The cube covered in bloody fingerprints. The cube that has suddenly been etched with an inscription invisible to anyone but him. Oh, no, what? Hello? 4 carved out letters? 4? Yes. YOLO? You. Your. And then the carving disappeared as if it had never been there. Your. Come on, let's go check what kind of recording we got. Act 4, a comfy place. As far as the friends are concerned, Ashley's shed is the best and coziest place in the whole suburb. There is a scarecrow in there. That is objectively not true. This is not cozy by pure nature of that scarecrow in the back. No, absolutely not. They spent most of their evenings there in the winter when there's nowhere else to hang out and a high risk of being targeted by the high schoolers' snowballs. What a small town sort of deal. There's plenty of space for board games and fooling around. They can be as loud as they like, and Ashley can always bring them snacks or soda from home. Her father originally planned to turn the place into a man cave, complete with a couch and a big TV, but he's been overwhelmed with work lately, so most of the time, the friends are free to use the shed. I think that's just a dude thing. My dad really wanted to turn one of the old barns on our property, because I grew up on farm property. He always wanted to turn the barn into a standalone man cave sort of building. I know Dad said he really wanted to put a pool table in there, and I say man cave like Mom wouldn't have gone into, but I know they wanted a pool table because both of them really like pool. At least I think I recall them both really liking pool. Oh my god, I'll have to ask them about when I call them tomorrow. I know they would have gotten themselves a pinball machine. My parents love pinball. That I have a distinct childhood memory of. We would go to this restaurant that had not quite an arcade, but it had a room full of pinball machines, and there was one. It must have been Twister themed because it would just say there's a big storm coming. And that's all I remember. And it's such a core memory of my childhood. But I think it's a guy thing to want to turn these standalone sort of spaces into man cave type areas. But that day they aren't alone. Chris, Ashley's older brother, is already inside, lying on a shabby carpet and playing a new Sega Genesis. Dang, even I didn't have a Sega Genesis. I started with Super Nintendo. Only as they enter does Ashley remember that Chris is grounded for coming home drunk from a party. He isn't allowed to see his friends for a month, but some of his buddies must have lent him the gaming console so he won't get too bored at home alone. Oh, justice for my dude. Oh, hey, what's up? As the front door squeaks open, he swiftly hides a red pack of Marlboros under a pillow. Aw, come on, quit those things. Phew, just you suckers. I thought Daddy showed up and was about to teach me how to live again. What you doing up here? Baby Ashley decided to show you our true family treasures. It's horrid! That's horrendous! The shed is filled with dated furniture living out its last days and unused equipment covered in dust, plus other miscellaneous items the family are too lazy to get rid of. Ashley's family is rich enough that they don't need to sell all their old junk, so a lot of it has been stuffed in the shed. Uh-huh. Alright. The old motorcycle. What? Lawnmower? Gotta be a lawnmower. About 3 years ago, before Ashley and Brian started dating, Brian saddled it up and drove it into the creek. Ashley burst into laughter, and Brian was banned from visiting Ashley's house. It seems the ban still hasn't been lifted. Let's see. Ooh. Chris's battered punching bag. Someone must have thrown hatchets and darts at it. Dang. Oh, what are you? An archaic Atari Pong console! Ashley's father played it as a teenager, but the only controller broke long ago, and so did the console itself. Alright. The funny scarecrow from the Bennett's field. Ashley asked Chris to steal it after the Bennett's youngest daughter lost her doll. It was hard to believe, but Eva swore the scarecrow had moved on its own. Yeah, it probably frickin' has. Oh, yeah, no, that's not creepy and haunted. An antique mirror. Little Ashley loved looking at it and imagining she was a Disney princess. Eva would barely even glance at the mirror. She was 110% convinced that, nope, not saying that name, would come out of it if she wasn't careful. Child of the 90's. I don't fuck around with that. I don't claim any negative energy from that. No. That's an in-game mirror. We don't say those words. That scarecrow is absolutely going to move. Chris retrieves the Marlboros and pulls the cigarette out with his teeth. Brian knows this is the trick so we can try it later. It looks thrilling. He doubts his attempt will look as natural as Chris's did, but it's still worth a little practice. What if he manages to impress the high schoolers, or the guys from the neighboring town's baseball team? Taunting opponents and getting on their nerves is a time-honored tradition. Or it's going to give you cancer and shorten your life, just saying. Don't you have to stay in your room and feign remorse? And what about you? Shouldn't you be catching Z's and not wandering around in the dark? Or you want to see who can disappoint our parents the most? He exhales a ring of blue smoke. The winner is clear. No, unlike you, I care about my future. We just want to watch a VHS. Why don't you just go do something else for a bit? We need the TV. As if. Get out of here, kids. He turns to the TV and keeps playing. Oh, can I not? No! Oh, I can't persuade him. Fine. It's a demo, so it makes sense that we can't do every path. But Ashley isn't going to back down. Her brother is as simple and predictable as an old penny. She won't even break a sweat fooling him. All you really need to know is whose opinion matters more to him than his own. Whose personal business he cares about more than video games. What he's afraid of missing out on. What will make him jealous. Ashley's eyes narrow slyly at Chris. I'll trade the TV for some intel, bro. Go on. He's still staring at the screen through the smoke cloud, frantically clicking the controller's buttons. We stumbled on your cronies out there, Sam and Bobby, right? They were asking if you're still grounded. They were pretty upset that you couldn't keep them company. Chris throws his sister a weary glance. Sam and Bobby are real douchebags. Rumors of their wicked deeds are always flying around town. Ashley knows Chris is afraid of them, but he'd still do anything to get into their gang. He's constantly schmoozing them with free drinks and cigarettes. You really think I'm gonna fall for that bull? It's true. I also saw them near the old water tower. They were going to steal Pam's motorcycle and ride it to the flour mill. Chris jumps up, nearly burning his fingers on the cigarette. Why the hell were they going there? Chris knows his sister can make up any nonsense on the spot if she wants to take advantage of something, but Eva he trusts. She's a good girl. He doubts she'd lie. He can see right through his little sis. Ashley thinks she's a master manipulator, but her expression is a dead giveaway when she's lying. But Eva's different. They've known each other forever, and she never lies so blatantly. Unless, of course, it comes to stories about the ghosts that haunt the old school, or the mysterious drowned man the girls totally met at the lake the one day. No, please, my glasses. Grandpa says truck drivers sometimes sneak bourbon into the factory in gas cans and sell it to the night shift workers. Best bourbon in the state, that's what he says. I bet they weren't going to buy it. They were going to steal it. That would be fun. He yanks his sneakers on and rushes for the door. Before he leaves, he glances over his shoulder and sneers. Watch out, Four Eyes. If you're trying to ditch me, your ass is going to be my punching bag next time. Eva, you don't count. Hey now, leave Michael alone. No, don't be mean to Michael. Chris disappears into the night, and Michael wipes the cold sweat from his forehead. He isn't going to punch me, is he? Is he, guys? It's just Ashley's brother, not some damn high schooler who likes robbing kids. Ashley doesn't really agree. Chris has changed lately. He used to play sports. He's never smoked or followed complete idiots before. Their parents were proud of his medals and trophies. Their dad claimed any college would accept Chris on an athletic scholarship. And once he entered college, he would straighten out. But there's nothing left to straighten out anymore. Nobody offers scholarships for partying or hanging around bad company. Chris's boxing gloves are already gathering dust under his bed. His empty shelves and hooks aren't expecting any new awards anytime soon. I want to know more about Chris. Let's just start, okay? She glances at the moon. The VHS is not the only reason she wants to hurry up. Werewolves. Turn it on, Brian. Brian changes the TV to AV mode. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, man. That's a throwback. Having to shift through the different modes for the TV. And slides the cassette into the VHS player. Static noises dance on the screen, curved and covered in dust. The speakers let out a soft hiss, followed by a squeak. Hope the tape's not blank. Otherwise, Michael's gonna get beat up for no reason. Michael shivers and glances around as if Chris might already be creeping up on him, his fist raised to strike. It can't be blank. Hurry up and take your seats. We don't want to miss anything. Eva settles down against one of the pillows, and her friends follow suit. The TV continues flickering, disrupting the peace of the shed. Oh, we're absolutely gonna die. The wind sweeps out over the fields, The wind sweeps out of the fields and descends on the suburb, sneaking through the streets like a wild animal, prowling for prey. It shoves the shed, making it sway and creak like a popping joint. Their only lamp flickers, casting shadows on the piles of garbage in the corners. Is there any other light in here? As if to answer Michael's question, a picture begins to form on the screen. Ugh. The black and gray static stripes morph into an image, taking on colors and shapes. It's trippy as hell. One part becomes studio walls. Another area changes into the decorated set of a Friday night show. Oh, hello, good sir. The rest turn into the body of a game show host, wearing a striped suit jacket. Oh, it's a murder game. I love murder games. The host is half turned and staring at the camera as if waiting for a director's signal to start, or trying to see the audience on the other side of the screen. At least he's not a maniac. Don't speak too soon. An invisible orchestra bursts into music so cacophonous that the players should have been whipped for their miserable performance and never allowed to lay hands on an instrument again. Dang, leave the brass section alone. They're doing their best. Haha, welcome to the show, everybody. No! Oh, man. All the plot twists were up to you. Oh, my God. I expected to see the tape. No. It was good. That was good. So we completed the demo version of Pink Noise. Guess this won't be a part 2. Guess it'll be one part only. So that's it. That's the demo for Pink Noise. If you enjoyed this game, there is a Kickstarter live right now at the time of posting this video. I really enjoyed this game. I thought that it was visually really freaking cool. There were so many different details. Seeing the static in the characters' eyes was a really nice touch that was really unexpected to me because it really did tie in all of that. Obviously, there were a few translation errors. Again, this is 1, a demo, and 2, I'm guessing, given that the audio was in Russian until I muted it, I'm guessing that the game is originally in Russian being translated into English, so a few minor translation errors I'm not going to hold against our lovely developer. But again, if you enjoyed this, please check out the Kickstarter down below. I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was a ton of fun. I thought it was an interesting premise, and I'm really curious about what's on that VHS tape, and it's really rude that I couldn't see more of the VHS tape because I wanted to know about the murder game that we are surely about to play. I love me a good haunted VHS tape. It definitely was hitting on that 90s aesthetic. It was definitely hitting on that 90s aesthetic. Some of the sources that the developer is telling me about that influenced them were things like the original It, Stranger Things, and I can't think of what else off the top of my head, but a lot of like 80s and 90s vibes. And again, I saw on the Steam page, because I went to research this because I was really intrigued by it, that you're going to find collectibles in the game and they're pogs, and just, I love all of the references. I thought it was super fun. I thought it was super neat, and I kind of wish we had like a year it actually takes place. This game also, as a complete side note, reminded me a little bit of Sally Face in that same like 90s aesthetic, like ghost hunting, ghost story vibe. They're very, very vastly different games, but it kind of reminded me of that one. So if you're a fan of Sally Face, you might be a fan of this, or if you were a fan of this, you might be a fan of Sally Face. Just saying. I'm just a big Sally Face fan. But yeah, that was really, really fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to checking out the Kickstarter myself. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, leave a nice little comment, or maybe even subscribe so that you know every time I upload a new video. And with that being said, I'm sweating a little bit and need to turn my AC back on. So we're going to hit the road, Jack. Ready, steady, bye!